why talk about it, right? Now, what is so important about advanced care planning and how do we go about it? Today, we have with us just a person to share this with us, and it is a great pleasure to introduce to you Brother Shen, General Manager of Kasih Hospice Foundation. Brother Shen leads a multidisciplinary team of hospice care doctors and nurses in delivering compassionate community-based hospice care, and the service is free of charge. Brother Shenwei also cares deeply about advanced care planning and helping to raise awareness about conversations around future healthcare preferences. Now, accompanied with your warm applause, I shall hand the session over to Brother Shenwei.
Thanks, Lily. Hang on. Turn the mic this way so that the other mic picks up. My name is Shen. I'm from Kasih Hospice Foundation. I have my colleague here, Sally, with me today. What I'll do today is, like Lily said, we're going to talk more about advanced care planning, but the talking, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I would want you to move and think about things a little bit. So part of that session, we require you to stand up and move around a bit, okay? But I'll let you know when to do that. First of all, maybe to get us in the frame of mind, maybe let us have a look watch this video, very short video.
Remove your wife's gallbladder without
Can you hear? Oh, no, wait.
calcifications.
I thought we can actually hear this. Okay, maybe I'll do this.
It's not showing me.
It was okay just now? No? Yeah.
Here.
Yes.
It's often a sign of gallbladder cancer.
Oh,
She has about 4 to 6 months.
no, she's dying.
You don't want to tell her?
Yes. It's not. She's happy. I do. I don't want to be afraid before she dies.
We can't treat it with the surgery and chemo. But we're supposed to go to therapist at the end of the month.
Didn't tell you, did you?
Excuse me?
Yes, of course. I was so worried that I got first.
You don't want to know?
We've been married for 60 years.
And now I'm dying. We're going to Venice. No. Mr. Shen.
Hold that thought that you have about what you've seen. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Before that, maybe allow me some time to introduce what is hospice. So I think it's 2017, 2018, they did a national study, I'll get off the way, where they looked at all the deaths in the country. 4 out of 10 Malaysians are in need of palliative care, but only less than 10% of them receive or have access to palliative care, right? Bear in mind that this is a study done in 2017, 2018 for the strategic plan in 2019. I must say we are better at the moment, but there are still gaps. So what is palliative care? Can I just have a show of hands who have heard of palliative care or hospice care? Oh, quite a bit. Then I don't need to really repeat now. Then I'll do tests. So palliative care generally is offered at the hospitals. You can actually, I think one big misconception about palliative care is when you're really, really sick, then you go to palliative care. When there's no more treatment, then you go to palliative care. which is untrue. You can actually start receiving palliative care as soon as you are being diagnosed. As soon as you're receiving maybe your first chemo, you can already receive palliative care. You may not need frequent palliative care. You may not need to see the palliative doctor frequently, but they are there to support you, so to support you through this process, and support your family through this process, right? So it could be that maybe because of your chemo, you don't feel very well, you have a fever, you still have pain from your cancer. They are the ones who will prescribe the different medication, have a conversation with you in terms of what your hopes and dreams are, where you would like to be in terms of your treatment, how do you see your treatment. They are also going to be caring for your for your family as well, because it's not only you who are going through that diagnosis, that cancer, that illness. Your family is coming with you along the side as well. So palliative doctors, palliative team, palliative counselors or nurses will walk alongside you while you're going through your different treatment. So where does hospice comes in? Hospice comes in towards the end. Usually prognosis is 6 months or less. Then typically the palliative doctor at the hospitals or their oncology would actually say to the patient, unfortunately, there's no more we can do. The treatment doesn't work anymore. We can keep on trying, but it's not going to work. Yeah. So then they will refer you to a hospice. So that's where we come in. So Kasih Hospice is one of 7 different hospices in the Klang Valley area. We are very lucky in the Klang Valley area that we have 7 different hospices. Pahang has 1, it's in Kuantan. Just imagine the people in the Malo or Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. Johor has 3, but they are also centralized in JB and the surrounding area. So people in Muar, Segamat, and the northern sometimes rely on Malacca if they have the manpower, if they can actually afford to travel to Muar or Segamat or Tangkak because it's closer to Malacca. So we are very lucky in Selangor and KL region where there are 7 different hospices. So we are one of them. We are a group of doctors, nurses. We have a pharmacist. We have some volunteers like Dolly and Lily, and admin people like myself and Sally. Our doctors and nurses are fully trained in palliative care and hospice care. So these, if you can imagine, if a GP has to go through, if a doctor's from Houseman's, they have to go through some special training to become oncologists. It's the same process. Palliative doctor doesn't just become palliative doctors. They have to go through specific training to become palliative doctors because the use of medication is slightly different. The way they see things is also very different. So general medicine looks at your disease, your illness. They'll find a cure. They'll try to find a cure, find treatment for it. Palliative hospice doctors look at you as a person, not your illness. They will try to make you as comfortable as you can be. So if you think about it, general medicine is to cure. The aim is to cure. So if you go to see your GP with a cough, they'll give you medication to cure your cough. When you see a palliative doctor or hospice doctor, the aim is to comfort, provide you with as much comfort as possible. Sometimes it's medication. Sometimes it can be just having a conversation with you. Yeah. Some hospices, I think there are 1 or 2 hospices in Malaysia, they have their own counselors. We have our counselor previously, but this area is still not very well developed. There's no very robust support system for counselors and training for counselors. It's been very difficult for us to hang on to our counselor. Yeah. So we are a team. The doctors and nurses tend to go out to see patients because the care really is at patient's home. It's the comfortable place for them. The work that we do is relieve the pain as much as we can. Sometimes it's symptom management as well. So, for example, if a patient has cough or has phlegm, we do treat it because our treatment, not so much to cure it, but to make sure that the patient is as comfortable as they can be. Yeah. We do provide that psychosocial, emotional, and spiritual support as well through our conversation with the patient and sometimes also with the family members. For Kasih Hospice, we focus on stage 4 cancer and end-stage kidney failure only patients. Other patients like stroke patients, dementia patients, we don't cover. Yeah. So for Kasih Hospice, there are only two criteria for accepting patients. One, you either are stage 4 cancer or end-stage kidney failure, and you have to live within our coverage area, which is, I'll show in a minute, which is Serenda, Rawang, Sungai Buloh, Bandar Seri Damansara, Kampong Jinjang, and Selayang. So those are our coverage area. Other hospices, you remember I said we have 7 hospices. The other hospices cover other areas so that we don't overlap. I think the only area that is overlap with the 2 hospices covering is PJ, because PJ is quite huge. Yeah. So we try not to overlap as much as possible so that we can cover more people. Yeah. Yeah. So the work that we do, the work that my doctors and nurses do is really patient focused, patient centric, whatever the patient needs. Depending on the stability of the patient, because sometimes when they are referred to us, they are already bedridden. They are already at that very active dying phase. Sometimes we get referred to, the patients that referred to us, they are still quite stable. They can be stable for another next month or 2, or sometimes 3 or 4 months before they start deteriorating. So if they are in a stable condition after our first assessment or second assessment, then we may visit them once every 2 weeks, sometimes once every 3 weeks, depending on their situation. If it was referred to us and they are already in an active dying phase, then we may visit them maybe once a week or sometimes even twice a week. So it very much depends on what is needed by the patient. And of course, we also support the family members. I would say probably about 90% of the family members are facing this for the first time. So they don't really know where to go, what to do, how to look for resources. So we are there to also provide that for them. They may not know how to care for a person who is bedridden. So we are there to support them through this, teach them a few basic skills in perhaps changing a diaper, changing bed sheet when patient is already bedridden. So these are skill sets that we also teach the family members to do. Yeah. So it's not just about the patient, it's also about the family. Because if you think about it, the comfort of the patient that we want to achieve also includes whoever and whatever is surrounding the patients. Yeah. So sometimes it can be family members, sometimes it maybe just a little tweak, just a little like teaching them how to change diaper can change a lot for the patient and for the family itself. Yeah. So this is something that we try to achieve. Like I said, patients are referred to us from hospitals. About 99% of them are like that. There's that 1% of patients, sometimes they do call us because they've heard about us, or walk in because perhaps their auntie was under us previously, now it's another auntie. So about that 1% every year, we'll get some walk-ins, some phone calls to say, can you cover my so-and-so? So, but the majority is from public and private hospitals. Like Dolly said, our services are free. We don't charge. We don't even charge for equipment loan. hospital beds, your wheelchairs, oxygen concentrators. We don't charge for that. The only thing that we ask for is that family members come to pick them up from our office. Yeah, and they foot that bill. We don't foot that bill for them. But the loan of the hospital equipment, it's all for free. Even our doctors and nurses are free of charge. And the reason why we do all the things that we do is because we believe in the quality of life, even towards the end. We try our best to provide that as much as we can, and also the support for the family members. So last year, just give you some context, last year we have about 800 plus patients. So for the last 6 years, we've been hovering around that 800 to 850 patients a year. About 600 to 650 patients are new patients for that year. The rest are from the previous years. We did about 3,000 plus home visits. 40% of our patients are B40. Like I said earlier, the only two criteria for being our patients, cancer stage 4 and stage kidney failure, and living in our area. We don't really care if they are from a B40 family or T20 family. We serve them as we do. Yeah. One thing I've learned also, that hospice is not just for old people. True, about 60 plus percent of our patients are 60 and above, but there's a huge portion that's 30 plus percent is 60 or under. There is also an increase in younger cancer patients in the country at the moment. So that kind of, we are working alongside that as well. Yeah. So these are just some more numbers. Like we serve everyone without prejudice. Yeah. So this, I don't know how much you can see. I'm just trying to showcase a little bit more about the different hospices and different hospitals that offers palliative care and hospice care in Malaysia. So these are the ones in KL, in Selangor. So on that side, you have all the hospitals that offers palliative care. On this side are all the different hospices that we have in our area. I must say Hospital Selayang probably is the more developed one amongst the hospitals that offers palliative care because they have beds. The other palliative care units, they have doctors and nurses. What happens usually is that the doctors and nurses would then visit patients at the different wards. So they'll go around the whole hospital. Whereas for PCU Selayang, they have beds. They share their beds with the geriatric team. Great. Like I said, this is going to be more an interactive session so that you are able to feel and experience this. So can I get everyone to stand up and move your chairs to the side? We're going to use this middle area. So imagine, you need to come closer here. So imagine there's an invisible line between Lily and Sally. Lily is comfort measures only. Sally is go all out, all possible treatment that you can have. Yeah? So what I want you to do, in the first scenario, if you were the one who had an accident, had a severe brain injury, what kind of medical care would you like for yourself? This person, yeah. So you can stand with Lily or with Sally or somewhere in between. So Lily here again is comfort only, whatever comfortable only. Sally there is go all out, whatever you can do to me, do to me. Yeah, so again, if you experience a severe brain injury, what kind of medical care would you like to have received? Yes.
What is clinical medical intervention?
Limited halfway. Not all out, not comfort. You can choose anywhere in this invisible line. You don't have to stand one end or the other end. So it can be anywhere in between. Sally here is go all out. Everything you can do to me, keep me alive, do to me any medication I will take. Where Lily here is comfort measures only. You can stay anywhere on this line.
Yeah lah.
Severe damage or
Serious damage at the point.
Yeah lah.
I certainly won't want intervention.
Yes, I've seen one. It's really not worth it.
No, not worth it. Paying so
Yeah,
much
it's not worth it.
for that.
It's the agony of the intervention.
You can send anywhere in this invisible line. Don't have to be one end or the other.
What's the empty?
We'll come to that later.
It's a half. Yes,
Are we?
the pain and the, yeah.
Oh,
I saw Sister Iris brother.
Yes,
Okay.
you did.
okay.
They
Yeah.
were passing me by.
Wow. OL is recruiting people at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Was this an easy decision for you?
I finished my L2.
Oh no. Someone is a no. Who's a no?
It's L2.
Yes. Was easy decision. No brainer. No brainer. Huh? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to change this a little bit. Hey. Now it is your loved one. We'll come to that later. So now you are the ones making decision for your loved one who is suffering this brain injury. How are you going to make that decision for them? Go all out, whatever you can, or just comfort measures? We'll come to that. We'll come to that. I know.
And you make someone independent.
Anyone moving?
Who that person
Oh,
Yeah.
someone moving.
No, I think it's a quality of life. Finally, he defected. I saw you.
Oh, not many movements going on, huh?
How far I want to make the decision?
The statement is clear that he, like, the doctor have seen everything
No,
they
he
can
think
do. But now they're very easy.
It's good.
Okay.
to let him know.
Sure. Just hold on to that one more minute. Hold on to that. Why did you move?
My parents are here, so they wanted this way. So.
Okay. Can anyone else move? Okay. Why did you move?
Because I tried the best
You're,
for the patient.
okay. Anyone else moved?
For me, I'm very clear. I want DNR, but if it's my loved one, I may not be able to let go, and I also have to consider my children, my grandchildren. So I would go all out whilst collecting information and consensus decision.
Okay. Anyone else moved? DNR. Do not resuscitate. Yeah. Why did you stay?
Yeah, I see.
Why?
Because I also want to help my loved ones. All the way out that they help me. It's the same thing.
Okay. There's no right or wrong reason. It's a matter of perception. It's a matter of what you wish to happen. But the only question that I'll ask here is, do your loved ones know what you want to do? And do you know what your loved ones want to do? Something to think about. And you ask me, there are so many considerations. What are the considerations? What are some of the considerations?
Whether that person can be saved.
Whether that person can be saved, yeah. Age, yep. Financial, yes. Financial is multi-levels. Financial is multi-levels. It's not just the hospital financial. It's what happens after they are discharged. What kind of care would you like? How much do you have? Who is going to care for? Any other considerations? Well, Lily is thinking very hard. Apart from your parents standing here, what are some of your considerations?
My considerations. I suppose like what was mentioned, I've not really put a lot of thought into this. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah. Lily and Sally stay there. So now Lily is do not take medication and Sally is take medication. So you now have a gradual loss of mobility illness. There is medication. Medication will slow down that progress for you. It doesn't mean that it will cure it. It will just slow it down. Yeah. But by taking this medication, you may lose all your memories. Where would you want to be? Take the medication at Sally. Don't take anything. You have only two choices here. So you have an illness that is going to affect your mobility. One day you will not be able to do what you normally do. Go to the toilet yourself, eat yourself, change your bed sheet yourself, shower yourself. So there is a medication now. The medication is going to slow down that process for you, but taking that medication also means that you will lose memory of your loved ones. So Sally is take medication. Lily is don't take medication. Where would you be? This question, there's no middle ground. It's either or.
Why no middle ground?
Because you take already.
I think lower dosage.
It's either or.
If it doesn't have no point of taking medication.
If it doesn't have what?
If it doesn't help the patient.
If it doesn't help the
And
patient,
make
don't
the
take.
patient worse.
Yeah.
Then better don't take,
No,
right?
that's you, no? It's you, not the patient, you.
So, okay. So there is a comment here that if the medication doesn't cure me, why take the medication?
Even more important, ultimately you're going to go down. So why bother those living one? They suffer even more. I mean, that is more concern because you will die anyway.
Okay, what if I throw this in? So by taking the medication, by not taking the medication, you are living for 10 years. But 5 of those years, you are bedridden. No, not taking the medication. Because gradually, you are going to lose your mobility. Gradually, you are going to lose being able to do things for yourself, going to the toilet, eat yourself, right? Feed yourself. So by not taking the medication, it will come on faster. So you may have 2 years of that, and the rest of the 5 years or 10 years, you're in bed. As opposed to take this medication. No. No, I'm not trying to say that. Your mobility you can maintain your mobility, and the gradual process is maybe 5 years. You can be mobile, you can shower yourself. Maybe more difficult towards the end of the 5 years. But you are able to do that. But the only thing is that you will forget all the people that you know. Oh, change, change, Aiyo. Yes,
I got a logic question.
logic.
If I lose my memory by taking the medication, right?
Yeah,
I cannot remember my family members.
yeah.
So naturally, I also cannot remember whether how to pee and how to walk or how to do all those mobility things. So isn't it fair the same? Cannot be losing memory of people only, It's
Sure,
about
sure. Yes,
whether I've
you,
eaten-
you may not know. You may not know, but your family will know.
No,
You are-
the point remains there because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, majority move over because they want to have some independence of mobility, correct?
Correct.
But if I
Yep.
lose memory, right, of my loved one, I may also lose memory about how to walk, whether I've eaten or not, the speech, and all these things is cognitive.
Sure. Yep. But you're going to lose your mobility first before you lose all that memory.
No, it's still it's okay. you should know better.
But the thing is, it's neither. The thing is, it's neither shorter or longer. This doesn't affect. This taking or not taking the medication does not affect your mortality. No, it doesn't. I did say. No. Okay. Make this way. We have 10 more years. 10 more years. By not taking the medication, you probably can move on your own for 2 years, and the rest 8 years, you are bedridden. Someone has to take care of you. If you take same 10 years, you take medication, 5 or 6 years, you can move on your own. 4 years, you have bedridden.
Depend on the age.
Better. Why better?
Better because if you take the medication, you forget about everything. So you go to heaven also easy, no attachment.
No. Even better, medication may have a side effect. You may die earlier also.
No, 10 years.
I think it depends.
It
If like
depends.
touch wood, today I know that if I don't take medication, I will be over that group. But if I'm already a 90-year-old, 95 years old, I will come to this group. It depends on something.
Sure.
It's not just me. Because if I lose my mobility, I affect everybody. And people have to take care of me. Memory loss it's painful for me, but mobility-wise, people don't have to take care of me for the extra years. It's all about a whole picture. It's not just about me. If my memory is gone, my memory is gone. But I cannot pull people down with me. I've been a caregiver. I know what it's about. It's not just about me.
Okay.
It's painful, but it's not just about me.
I'm glad you brought it up. We will talk about that even deeper later. We have finished the life exercise. You can bring your chair back.
Carry on. I think.
Lily and I will come around and give out some handouts. Our Sally will do that as well. I don't know if I have enough one copy per person. If you come with your family, can you share one?
Just pass it out.
I'm not the most.
No, I take all the senior brother, all the seniors.
Sorry.
No, then bring this thing lah. Bring this thing.
Let's see.
I know what you value now. Glasses or bigger letters. Sorry, I had to cram everything into smaller pieces. I haven't thought about that one. I apologize. It's on the screen, it's on your paper as well. Yeah? So we've gone through some scenarios. Yes, there are some consideration in terms of the scenarios earlier, making you choose one or the other. I think the bigger question here is not so much you choosing which side. It ultimately you made your choice, and that's the choice that you make. Perhaps it's based on your belief system, your values, how you were brought up, your preferences, people around you that you have seen and you don't like that, and you want to choose the other side. That's your preference. I think the bigger question is, does anybody know about your preference? Who have you spoken to about your preference? Wow. We'll get you to share a bit more later. Yeah. But for now, let's look at the questions that you have on the screen here. You can look at the screen here or on the piece of paper. What are some things that are most valuable to you? I've got health, I've got independence, I've got understanding. Any other words? Any other things that are important? Mobility. Nice 豬腸粉 Penang char kway teow with duck egg. Yeah. So, lap cheong, yes, of course. Cannot not have that, thank you. Ham, okay, I can put aside, I don't need, but lap cheong must have. I hear very big words, health, independence, love, right? But what is it about the love? What is it about the health? What is it about the independence that is valuable to you? It's great to say, oh, I value my health. My independence is the biggest thing to me. But what does it mean? Well, freedom is still quite a big word. It's a very big word. But what does it mean? What does all these big words actually mean to you? Yep, be able to take care of myself. Be able to feed myself for as long as possible. Yeah? Be able to choose what I want to eat. Be able to go to the toilet on my own. Be able to have a shower on my own. Yeah? So, whilst you have those big words in your head, great start, great place to start. But come down, go deeper. Go deeper into what is it about being healthy. Maybe you still want to go for your weekly hike. Maybe you still want to be able to go travel around the world. These are important things to you. So think about, it's good to have those big words. Independence. Yeah, who doesn't like independence? Who doesn't like independence? Nobody. Yeah. So what does independence actually mean to you? Right? It means different things for different people. Yeah. Then what brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Read a book, have coffee every morning. What kind of coffee do you drink? What kind of 猪腸粉 do you want to eat? The Ipoh kind, the Penang kind, the Hong Kong style? Yeah. So what does happiness actually mean to you? What does joy actually mean to you? What brings joy to you? My family. Still quite a big word. But what is it about my family actually brings that to you? What does it mean? Repeat.
different stages of my life, I will have different joy and different happiness. I may want now, like he said, chichongpan, maybe for now, but maybe 1 year later or a few months later, I've deteriorated in health. So my joy has changed. My joy probably is I can go to toilet myself. My happiness will change if I can shower myself. I don't have to depend on anyone else. So as I deteriorated, as long as I have peace in mind and I can go smoothly, I think I'll be happy. So different stages, different joy and happiness.
And your name is?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Okay, that's Jacqueline's joy, happiness. Chi Chung Fan is forever. Are there any cultural or family traditions that are important to you? Is that a cultural or family tradition?
That question is too big. What is cultural and family traditions?
Some traditional, cultural or family tradition. Chinese New Year long, yeah long. Some families celebrate 中秋节. It's very important. Okay, example, my mother. The most important day for her in the whole entire calendar is not birthday, it's not anniversary, it's Chinese New Year Eve. She places a huge importance in that. 冬至, okay lor, I make something lor. Yeah, but Chinese New Year Eve is very important to her. So she made it known lah. She made it known. She told us it's very important to me. So she made it known to us. That's very important to her and to my family. Everybody must come. Dai must come. And no, Liv also must come. Yes.
Actually, the important to me or not is not what I'm referring to, but cultural and family traditions. That's a part I need some clarification. I'm not a very cultural and traditional person, but my mother would say that when the person is dying, everybody has to be around to send the dying person off. Why? Can someone please enlighten me?
I can't answer that for your family or for your mother. Yeah. There are some families or some parents or some aunties, uncles would say something like that. If you still have them around, if they've said something like that, you still have them around, ask them, why is it important to you? To say farewell. Sometimes it's very important. But then, if I look at it on the flip side, right? Sorry? But if I see it on the flip side, the person who is dying. So, there are two kinds of people, dying people. One is that someone must have people that they love around them. The other group, they love their family so much, they cannot die in front of them. They will not. It's the minute that you step out to go to the bathroom and say, hey, I'm just going to the bathroom, I'll come back, gone.
There's another one.
Oh, there's another one. Come back again.
No. Life is put it alone. No.
I would put them into the second group, that they die peacefully or just waiting for them to be quiet, just them to be alone without the loved one with them. So typically two groups now. Yeah. Oh, this one don't believe me. Okay. So think about it. Think about, is there anything that's so important in your family that maybe we have taken for granted sometimes? Maybe there's none, but have a think about it. Yeah. Think about when you are sick. Where do you get that strength from? From a person, from a certain event, or from thinking about what you want to achieve, where do you get that strength from? Where does your family get that strength from as well? Your faith? Yep. It can be from faith. Social support, yeah. Very important. I think in this, not to say that 50 years ago social support is not important. I guess 50 years ago our community, our society is very different also from now. Now a lot more. Taking my family example again, my mom, my grandfather, my mother's father, they have a shop house in Muar. They have housed not generation, I think about 8 different families at different times in that house. At one stage, there were about 20, 30 people in that one house. Yeah. So nowadays, if you have 5 people, already squeezy. Cannot, right? Yeah. So where do you find that support? Where do you find that strength? What about fear of end of life? Fear of dying? How do you feel about dying? Well, Lily promised that we'll talk about dying, difficult conversation. So how do you feel about that? Do you know how you feel about that? Who knows exactly how they feel about dying? Wow, do you mind sharing? Oh.
I'm okay. I'll answer the question before. Like, are there any fears about end of life?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, I don't know what else you asked.
Yeah. Fear about end of life.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not so much fear. Okay. What I like to share is that I would, if I have a choice, like to die without too much fear, because by that time I hope, assuming that I die of old age, not nasty diseases, I like to be able to say that actually I'm so tired, I just would like to go. So that's how I would like it to be. But of course, I don't know at that point of time. This is talking about the future. At that time of dying, I may have fear, I don't know, but I hope not to. Because I would have prepared. Hopefully, if I die a natural death. I mean, I'm already at this age. Thank you.
At 18?
At this age.
18 no. 18. So remember the video I showed earlier at the very beginning of the session. The husband doesn't want the wife to know that she's dying. The wife doesn't want the husband to know that she is dying. Both have their reasons. Both wanted different things for the other party. But they've never spoke about this to each other. They've never communicated. They look very, okay, like it's a TV series. It's pretend, but they look very in love. They're still very in love with each other after so many years. But they cannot tell that person how they feel and what they want. In the fear of disappointing, in the fear of affecting how they would see the rest of their life. Yeah. Something to think about. Have you thought about where you want to die? Sally and I have done this kind of talk for multiple times a year, and I feel, I don't know about Sally, I feel a lot of people would have thought about what their funeral arrangements are like. They know, I'm going to be buried, I'm going to be cremated. Here's when I want to be cremated, I want to be scattered in the sea. Or I want to be buried under the tree in front of my house. So that, in some ways, is the easiest decision that's being made. Before this, what we've talked about, what brings you joy, what's the most important thing to you. It gets a bit of thinking. But when it comes to funeral arrangement, I think a lot of people would have thought, Nirvana, lor, so big, so close. Or other ones, lor, I want a smaller, I want to go back to my hometown. I want to be buried, I want to be cremated. It's an easier decision. And it's probably even easier these days in terms of where do you do your wake, where do you do your funeral? Because it's kind of, in some ways, the industry is actually predetermined for you. It's easier to be cremated. It's easier now to go to a parlor. Like maybe back in 20 years, everyone does it at their own home. Then is your house ready for that kind of event? Do you affect the neighbors? Now everyone just goes to the parlor. Now everyone just sign a package and say, okay, package done, finish, send off. I'll come back next year. Yeah. But have you thought about it? Where do you want to die? Who do you want to be there when you pass? Or who do you not want to be there? Yeah? If you can't think about who you want to be there for you, too long a list, think about who do you not want to be there. Maybe a longer list now. I don't know. Yeah. I guess we all know that every family, there's one or two that will offer a lot of advice every point in your life, and whether you want it or not. Yeah. So have a think, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else, hometown. I think if you're from can I have a show of hands who is originally from KL or Selangor? Originally. Not many. So would you want to go back to your hometown? Is that decision because no one else is there, no one is buried there, or is that decision it's easier for my children if it's here? Nobody there. Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about, lah. Something to think about. Yeah. Yes, if you can take out your phone and scan this QR code. Oh. You can see the first question.
I saw your car just now. I know you
Ken?
Yes. No, I don't want to start this. It's all right.
So if you have been diagnosed with serious illness, how much would you like to know about your illness? If all the way from just basic, just say the word cancer and I will know whatever it is. All I want to know is cancer. I don't want to know anything else. To on the other side, of course you can choose all the different options lah. Yeah. On the other side, you want to know every single thing from your doctor. Thirty, 4, 5, 8, 9, 39 people. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's not exam. Okay. Oh, yep. Majority wants to know everything. Okay. Can you see your next question? Oh. No need to scan again. You should be able to click onto the next, or it should have come up.
This one I already answer.
No, this is the second question already.
Yeah lah. So it will come up the next one.
No, this is already the next question.
Oh, is it?
So how much would you like your loved one to know? Yeah. So the next question, similar, but the first question is about how much you want to know. The second question is about how much you want your loved ones to know. Oh. It's about knowing first. It's not so much about whether you do anything about it. Would you tell them? If
I have been diagnosed with serious.
Yeah. So if the doctor tells you you have heart attack, you need to have a bypass, would you tell your family members? Or the doctor said to you, I'm very sorry, you have 4th stage breast cancer. Would you tell your family? Or how much would you tell your family? Less one-sided this time. Majority is in the middle, where I see what happens, then I tell. Who has changed their answer from I want to know everything and for my loved ones to know just a little bit? You have changed? Yep. Why is that?
I feel that get the loved ones to know, no need to know everything lah. I think I can take care of myself lah. That's something like that.
Okay. Sure.
Like for me, I would still want to know everything, and that is for me to decide what to tell them. But I want to know everything.
Don't worry, you just put in between.
But that is for me to decide what to tell them.
Sure. Yep. It's your decision. Oh, let me bring up the QR code again. Yeah. So the first question is about how much do you want to know? Second question is about how much do you want to tell your loved ones? There's no right or wrong answer lah. There's no right or wrong answer. Yep.
But when my husband had cancer, I wanted to know everything because I was the one pushing to go and get treatment. Because I'm the one who we left behind. I need to know.
Oh, she's saying that her husband had cancer and she as a wife wanted to know everything.
But the question is the other way around.
I know the other way. She's just sharing her opinion, her real life experience about herself. Yeah. We can it's hard. It's a hard conversation. It's a difficult decision to make, just like the earlier exercise that we had about the what ifs, right? It's never one-sided. It's it's very different from writing a will. Writing a will is your asset, your money, your savings, your EPF, your house. Whoever you want to give it to, you want to give it to your elders only. You want to split equally amongst the four of them, or you want to donate everything to charity. That's your asset. You get to choose, right? Sure, you may have conversations. You may have conversation with one of your children because they are not having such a great time. Fine. Advanced care planning, these kind of conversations, I feel it's best to have. You may not be ready to have that conversation as soon as you're being diagnosed. But at some point, I feel personal feeling, not to dissuade anyone here. I feel it's important to have that conversation, open conversation with your loved ones. I think one example in the front here is that if they don't know what's happening with you, how are they going to be your caregiver? How can they give the best care to you? From a wife whose husband has cancer, I want to know everything because then I am prepared. I'm prepared to go with you to every chemo, every radiation. I'm prepared to ask that tough question. What's going to happen after this chemo? How long does he have after this chemo? What can he still get? What can he still do after the chemo? But if I don't know, I'm the wife, I don't know, I can't ask these questions. I don't know to ask these questions. So it's a conversation. I feel it's a conversation. Advanced care planning is an individual thing, but it's also a collective thing. There are some more questions. Where's my mouse? Can you see the next question on your phone? Yeah. I see most of us are wanting to stay at home, and that's intuitive, I guess. But like we explored earlier, there are a lot of other considerations. There are financial considerations, first and foremost. Hiring a Filipino maid now with no caregiving certificate starts from about 2,500 a month. That's a live-in. Yeah. It goes up if they have certificates of nursing or if they have caregiving certificates. It can go up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 a month. Nursing home, I don't really know about nursing home because we don't work with them closely. The one that I heard that it's okay, single room, this is 2 years ago, single room was 8,500 a month. If you understand Cantonese, 冇錢都冇病啊，真係。Yeah.
Expensive to get home. When we say hospital, that means we are still fairly okay to be in the hospital, right? But it's not that we're so sick until they
Generally speaking, very, very generally speaking, private hospitals may be your option to stay in the hospital. Government hospital less so, because they need to make sure that there's always a turnaround, there's always beds for other patients.
So, Shen, when you say where would you prefer to be while you need care? Is it the last stage of my life?
It can be any stage. Yeah.
So, let's say when I had my stroke, I stayed in the hospital. So that's hospital.
Yep. I have also known friends who chose hospital, although they know the work that I do, they know about hospice. They chose to be at hospital because the mother screamed in pain in the middle of the night, and that scared them. They don't know what to do. They can only go to hospital, and hospital there's round the clock. If mother is in pain again, press a switch, nurse will come, inject. And that's very logical. That's okay. Yeah. This is a friend who even knows that I work in hospice and not understand the work that we do, but he still chose hospital. And the mom passed away about 12 days in the hospital. Cannot. Yeah. I mean, even with at home, ideally, all of us want to be at home because that's where we are most comfortable. I remember trying to convince my mom to move from JB to KL. That's very hard. That took 4 years of working with her, talking to her. It was only until the 3rd year that she started coming to KL to have a look at the different places. And just God's grace, I guess. She moved in May 2019, and it was the same apartment block as my brother. She's on level 7, and my brother's on level 10. I was in Singapore, my sister is in Vermont, USA. So it was destined, God's grace, whatever it is. She was there in the same apartment block as my brother. Yeah, so it cut out a lot of issues. If she was still in JB, it would create a whole lot of different issues for us because she's alone in the house. Whereas in this apartment, because it's the same apartment block, when COVID hits, my brother can come down, she can go up. Yeah. If your children wants you to be near. A lot of things that we assume. Yeah.
One thing, old age, dementia, all these places. You know why?
Dementia is totally different picture.
If you got dementia, even you got caretaker or whatever, you still need your children to manage your money. You know, your
children want your
Oh.
money, but they will not take care of you.
Thanks, Tina, for the
but
reality.
But whatever it is, you still need your children to manage you, not take care of you, but manage you.
We manage each other.
Huh?
I would say
No,
we
you
manage each other.
cannot, because I see so many of my friends.
Yeah.
The wife died, the children didn't care about the father, and the father was left alone with a maid. At the end, when the father died, the children came back. The house also gone under the maid's name. You see? All this you must manage by your
Drama.
family. Yeah, not only one case, no, few.
同山风暴.
Yes, you need the children to manage your money.
For sure.
Because the children didn't take care of him anyway. He was the need that takes care. So when
Yeah.
they're older, they ever take care of him.
So earlier, I got everyone to put up their hand in terms of where they live, where they were from. If they are not originally from KL or Selangor, I think a majority are not, right? Maybe imagine, just imagine, and for those who are originally from here as well, imagine perhaps your parents are, say, lives in Ipoh or Taiping or Sagamat, and they are in serious need of caregiving. You are here working, your husband is working, your brothers are working, your sisters are working. Nobody is willing to, or nobody can take time off because they also have children going to school to go back to wherever it is to be the caregiver. Then the obvious answer is move them out here, Lord, because everyone is here. Oh, yeah. But they don't want to move. Because they are very comfortable. Like, majority of you want to stay at home. Then you ask them to move from their home. How do you ask them to move from their home? Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Maybe, yeah. But it's just getting you to think about things. Sometimes we want ideal. Of course, everyone wants to be at home when they need to be cared for because it's a familiar place to us. Even if I have dementia, even if I lost my memory, I still know how to get to the toilet, feel my way to the toilet. I remember my uncle. He started going blind when he was 30, and he was completely blind by 50. Whenever he goes to a new place, that's the first thing he look out for, toilet. In his own house, he doesn't need to feel the way. He knows how to walk to the toilet himself. But when he goes to a new space, every wall, then he banged himself in the table, on the chair, because he doesn't know that it was there. He can't see it. So something that we need to think about. Yes, we want to be at home, but sometimes is home practical for us? Is it also, then on the flip side, are we making decision to go to, for example, nursing home? Are we making that decision because I'm alone? Nobody wants to look after me. My children are working very hard, busy, so I go to a nursing home, easier for me. But is it easier for you? So then, don't need to answer this lah. It's just something that to think about. How is that option earlier, where you want to be cared for? How important is it to you? Mean answer lah. It's okay. You answer in your heart. So congratulations. You have just done your initial advanced care planning. Nobody happy. Congratulations. What we have gone through just now is preliminary advanced care planning. Something to get you to think about what's most important to you, how you want to be cared for, where you want to be cared for. I must say, this is still the easier part. The harder part comes when you have to have that conversation. Yeah. You may be ready to have that conversation because you think, I'm 80, I need to have that conversation now because while I'm still healthy, better. Yeah. But your children may not be ready.
Yeah.
Your children may say, Choi. Yeah. We keep thinking that it's the other way around. The younger generation will want to talk about it. It's the older generations who say, Choi, don't talk about it. But we have realized over the last couple of years, it's the younger generation who don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So advanced care planning really is making sure that you know who you are and what you want. Have that conversation with your family. Have that because it's an individual thing to do, but it's also a collective. If they don't know your plans, they are not going to follow your plans. And usually at this time, I always talk about Sally's example. Sally used to work for a funeral home. I will not name which one, Xiao En. What? I didn't say what? Xiao En. So there is this mother who bought her package, the way 3 days, then the funeral, also paid for a piece of land so that she can be buried. Children overseas. She didn't communicate with the children. She put this all in her will. Everyone's like, oh. Yep. She finally passed. Children all came back. Nobody talked about it. Children said, oh, wow, nice building. Nirvana, okay, we just go Nirvana. It's easier. I've got a friend who is an agent. Did everything, cremated, scattered. 2 weeks later, lawyer's office, reading the will. I've already bought a piece of land, bound to be buried. That night, the elders had a dream about the mother. And the mother said to her, "Ayo, 凍死我而家，濕濕嘅." She's cold because she's wet. It's a light-hearted story. It's a true story, light-hearted. But like I said earlier, no funeral arrangements are probably the easiest things to do, right? But at the same time, you need to have that conversation. Yeah, you need to tell them, I've already bought a piece of land, I already bought a package. Not that in hope that they want to contribute to it. That's not the plan. The plan is you follow my wishes. Yeah. And increasingly also we've seen in one household, parents are Buddhist, one children Christian, or 2 children Christian, the other one doesn't have affiliation. Then when the parent die, what to do? Which ceremony? Where to bury? Yeah. So another real life. This is my partners. So before the father passed away, the father was baptized, so was buried. Not in a Christian plot, in a normal plot, but the headstone would have a cross. Yeah. Mother had a huge fall last year, getting better. She can walk on her own, get in and out a bit on her own. But then the question comes, mother hasn't been baptized. This is the sister. Mother hasn't been baptized. Can you talk to mother about whether she wants to be baptized or when she wants to be baptized so that she can be buried with the father? Because according to the sister's husband, the mother cannot be buried together with the father because mother is not Christian. Yeah. So increasingly, we are going to get more diverse as we go. Pure bloods are getting smaller and smaller. So we need to also recognize that. Yeah. Whether it's going to, like I said earlier question, is there any family tradition? Is there any cultural tradition that is important to you? Important to you, because this is your ACP. It may not be important to your children, or your husband, or your wife, or your sister, or your brother, but it's important to you. You share that with them. This is my beliefs. These are my values. These are my preferences. When I'm being cared for, this is what I want to be. This is what I want it to look like. When I die, this is what it should look like for me. And for me, at my funeral, only people who have taken a photo with me can come to my funeral. And they have to bring proof that we have taken a photo together. Because there's no point of you coming to my funeral if we are just walking past each other. If we have met 20 years ago at university, that one time, no point. And at my funeral, nobody's wearing black or white. Wear whatever color you want. Yeah. So things like that. I mean, this is important to me. It may not be important to all of you. What I'm saying here is, you you hold your own destiny right until the end. Yeah. But holding on to your destiny is very individual. You talk about it with yourself, but if you don't share it with your loved ones, who is going to be most possibly the person executing this, no point. Another scenario. Oh, sorry. One more scenario, then I can. Another scenario. A friend of mine, father went for a bypass. He has an older sister. Sister is a nurse. So everything the doctor talked about, every decision that has to be made, every signature, okay lah, you decide lah, Jay. You sign. Because elders, medical profession. So I asked him, does she know? Is she okay with this? Then he looked at me going, father's daughter, ma, nurse, ma. I was like, but is she okay with making this decision? Yes, you may have had some sort of discussion, but why is she signing the papers? Is she signing papers because she's the eldest? Is she signing papers because she's a nurse? Have you had that conversation with her? How would she feel if something were to happen? Is she going to be okay because she signed the papers? If she said, do not resuscitate my father, and at surgery, lost the father, then how would she feel? So it's an individual thing, but it's also a collective thing. Wow, suddenly so quiet. So gloom and blue. Your question?
Yeah. All these are expression of preferences, right? But is there a legal document, like a lasting power of attorney that we can execute, and then it becomes mandatory for the donee to follow?
Good question. We always get that. Question is this ACP a legal document? Answer is no. In the world, Hong Kong is legal, Taiwan is legal, Singapore is legal, Australia, maybe certain states. Malaysia is not legal. Not legal document. Even if you get Justice of Peace to sign off on it, to stamp it's sah, whatever it is, it's not a legal document. Yeah. Malaysia is still very young. The good thing about it is that there is a guideline, mainly for doctors and nurses in the hospital and for emergency use, to have conversation with emergency patients in terms of their ACP. Not so much a community-based like what we are doing right here. Yeah. In the medical field, ACP it typically is being used towards the end of life. If the doctor or nurses can see that 1 or 2 weeks, then they will start having that conversation. Whereas what we're doing is, we're doing it a bit earlier. Can you starting that process earlier?
The conversation that the medical team has is with the next of kin. It's not with the patient. Because it happened to me. They had it with me, and then I lost my husband. It was supposed to be weeks, but I lost him 6 hours later. So I never got to know what he wanted, but I knew in my heart that was what he wanted.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, you're right. It doesn't happen with the patient either. Because sometimes patient can't speak anymore. Yeah. Oh, cannot hear me. Oh, sorry. I'm speaking so softly. The statement here is that, when Tina's husband was in the hospital, they had the conversation with her and not the husband. Sometimes it happens that way because the patient can't speak for themselves. Then they have to then speak to next of kin.
Actually,
No, actually, he was conscious. He was at the end of his cancer, and in fact, the oncologist went in and spoke to him, and the oncologist was very encouraging and told him that, oh, you've got some infection and whatever, but the scans all came out okay, so don't worry, you've got this thing, blah, blah. You just continue to do this, whatever. And then after a while, they called me out to the nurse's station, and the oncologist told me, he asked me actually, if your husband needs to go to what do you call that place? Where he's already with oxygen, but if he needs to go into what do you call that place where you where they hook him up onto the breathing machine kind of thing. So I said, what is your medical view on this? He said, Mrs. Koo, it will be prolonged suffering. So straight away I said, no, I don't want that. Then he said, then Mrs. Koo, there'll be no CPR as well. I said, no. I said, I don't want him to suffer because my husband was ready to go. I was not ready to let go. Every time he went to the hospital, he told me, I don't talk about this. He was ready to go. From beginning, he didn't want any cancer treatment. I pushed him to do it. So I knew that he didn't want to suffer. So I said no. And then the doctor told me to kind of, because it's MCO at that time, said to gather people around. And although there was strict visitation rights, they will still allow people, discipline 2 by 2 to go and see him because it was the end. And he told me it'll be weeks. But 6 hours later, the nurse called me. My husband went home to the Lord. So the conversation was with me. Yeah. So whatever ACP and whatever, but it's good that we let people know. Yeah.
The other thing about ACP is that as we go on, it's not a document or a write-up that you do and then you lock it into your safe. Then you tell your children, if this happened to me, bring it out from the safe. This is a safe number. Have a read. That's what I want to do. You can change it whenever. Because the people that we meet, the life that we have, it changes every single day. It changes our point of view sometimes. Yeah, and it's okay to change. It's yours. Like you go buy a new shirt for Chinese New Year. Why? This Chinese New Year, ma. It's the same thing. You change because you meet someone different. You have a different point of view now about certain things. Change it. It's harder now. Sorry, it's easier to do what we've done. It's not so easy because I can't tell you, let's look at breast cancer now and list down every single thing that will happen to you if you have breast cancer. Because I don't know. No doctor will be able to tell you. They will tell you possible like this, possible like this, possible like this. Yeah. 2 ladies with the same breast cancer can look very different from one another. So it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is. But you could start from, I treasure my mobility, I treasure my independence, I want to be able to shower, eat, and go to the toilet on my own for as long as possible. And you determine what that long as possible means. At what stage do they need to have another conversation with you to say, hey, are you going to be okay? Hey, are you going to be okay feeding yourself? Do you want me to support you? Do you want me to help you? Yeah. At what point is that? Or if you're going through chemo, at what point do you say, that's it. I've done with chemo. I've tried my best. What is it? What's next for me? What is that point? And that point may change. That point may change. You may think, since I'm stage 3, maybe I'll do 3 rounds and see how it goes. 3 rounds is my maximum. But you can't even get through the first round. Then do you still keep on going? Or after 2 rounds, you're okay. Then no need to go on. Yeah.
By the way, what's ACP?
ACP is Advanced Care Planning. Yeah.
Great. I have
Yeah.
one question.
Sure.
I'm Harbans.
Hi, Harbans.
Just now you said ACP is not a legal document. I just want to clarify that because I have been in this situation before because, I'm a Kasih Hospice volunteer and I've seen families where the children, each child wants something different for and if one of them has this document, can they say I have this document or what's the story? Thank you.
What's the story? I don't know the story. It's not uncommon to have that. What's the story? Can they show that to the doctor and the doctor will do exactly what the paper does? I don't know. It's not a legal document, nothing compelling the doctor to do that. Even if they take it to court, does mom or dad has that much time to get through the court system? And to even the courts, I don't think, because it's not legally binding, there's nothing for the judge to compel the doctor to execute what the ACP says. Yeah.
What is preventing Malaysian government?
What is preventing Malaysian government to legalize this document? I think it's evidence.
What?
Evidence. Evidence that we need this. Evidence that this is going to solve medical issues, solve medical budget issues. Because if you don't have all of this, it's going to be a burden. Like Harvard's example, you may there's potential that you may use up more resources, but at the moment there's no evidence. There's no hard evidence to show that with ACP you will reduce using up resources at the hospital or using up certain resources.
What is against them to?
What is it?
Evidence. I mean, evidence can be.
I think so. If we look at Taiwan, for example, understand? Yeah.
Is it because of the religious issues in this country?
I think it plays a part, but not the whole picture. Yeah. If I look at Taiwan, for example, correct me if I'm wrong, Taiwan, for example, it's not, before it was legalized, it was a movement. It was a ground-up movement started that. It was the people pushing the government to legalize this. Then the government did, I'm sure they did their studies, they did some number crunching before they legalized this document. Yeah. We are very young. We are very young at that conversation. The government just came up with a guideline mid of last year on advanced care planning. So I think it will be another good 10 years before we'll see anything. I don't know, don't quote me on that, please. Delete video.
In Malaysia is the living will, that means at end of stage. That is a legal document. I mean, that's legal, right? A living will, and then I mean for non-Muslims, a will like for non-Muslims is legal. So living will is legal. So can this living will, can ACP put it into the living will or something? I don't know.
What's in the living will?
Like you want when it's end of the stage, right? And you want how to be done. I mean, whether you want it to be resuscitated or things like that. But is it legal here? It is, right?
So as I understand it, before you go into any major surgery or major procedure, the doctors will get you to sign consent form. That's where we got the comfort only, limited medical intervention, and go all out. So go all out means you also want resuscitation. Resuscitation means when your heart stops, wherever it is, whether it's in your own ward or whether it's halfway through your surgery, they will try whatever possible to bring your heart back. So that includes CPR, includes sucking a tube into you, sometimes includes a jab into you so that it would make your heart pump again. Then you be put on machine. Yeah, so that's that. They will usually ask you to sign off lah. But the hospital doctors, whatever surgeon also, they will look at the situation. Yeah, they will look at things like age. They will look at things like what's the possibility even if they resuscitate you, are they going to leave any long-lasting damages to you? Then they will also decide at that point. Limited means they are probably not going to do full-on resuscitation. They will have things like if you're kidney patients, they may have a urine catheter, and you may have other things sticking out of you as well, because that has got nothing to do with CPR or DNR. There's another question.
Okay, just now we were talking of. Am I on?
Yep.
Okay. You see, just now we were talking about, okay, now why ACP is not actually being legalized and all that. Because you see, although we make an ACP, but our mind changes. Sometimes we do that, but once we go through certain treatment, we might change our whole view altogether. Then do we have a new ACP again? So for people who are around, so that is very, very difficult to decide. So the best thing is that as a patient or even as ourselves, it's always good to be open and dynamic. It doesn't mean that we have to reach this point to talk about it. Before that, you start talking about it. Then there will be a sequence of things, and then people will slowly get used to the idea. It's not a one talk and then everything ends. It is a frequent talk about things. You see? So I think that is why it's very difficult, because our mind and our decision changes with every stages we go through.
Absolutely. And it's not a once-off. You write it out and you put it into a folder, and then you tell your children, if something happens to me, the folder is there, have a read. It's a conversation. Yes, you need to note it down. It's great to note it down because we forget. If we have that many conversations, we'll forget which conversation is which. Yeah, if you ask me what I ate last night, I can't remember. So it's good to write it down. It's also good to document and say, okay, today we have talked about this. I would now change my mind. I would like to do this. This would be my new ACP. You may not need to change the whole entire ACP. You may change a small portion of it. Any other questions?
I had a friend whose father had diabetes, and he was about to get his leg amputated, and he said no to it because he wants to, at least if he leaves the world, he has his leg with him, and that could have saved his life, but he made the choice. Yeah, and what's the difference with euthanasia, of being able to make decisions on that? And can we move to a country that legalizes euthanasia should we come to that decision?
Can you move to a country that legalizes euthanasia? Of course you can if you have the money. New Zealand, Australia, put something in perspective, I guess. Last year, Australia, if we look at just Sydney, about 1,500 people submitted an application to, they call it voluntary assisted dying, VID. 1,500, just in Sydney, 1,500 people submitted an application to a VID. Then that means they can choose a date of their choice. Then they can also choose if they die at home, who administer that dose. Yeah. 638 people qualified. In the end, only 335 people were able to have that assisted dying. Yes, really. Because you can apply, doesn't mean that you will get it. there are criteria to fulfill. They are stringent. You have to be seen by 2 different doctors. They have to assess that you are okay to go. They have to give you the tick of approval. And once the second doctor has given you the tick of approval, the first doctor has to come back and give you another tick of approval before you can become that 638. From the time when you receive that 638 to becoming that 335, things can happen. We can change our mind. Or we don't live that long to that date that we choose. So, yes, you can move, but whether you get it, I don't know. I can't tell you. Yes. Next question.
I would like to seek for your experience sharing if you have any. Yeah? Say like if this kind of ACP, when the time is need to be executed, means the person has passed away, but then he has an ACP already. Then the family, everyone known before this. Then finally, everyone knew already about this ACP before the person died and they discussed. But finally, the family still has dispute also. Do you have any experience like that? It may happen also, I know. Did regret already or what?
So having this ACP one, I now after saying how good it is, now I need to paint a different kind of picture. It's not legal for one. It doesn't stop your family to have different viewpoints than you. Doesn't stop people it doesn't stop people from not executing it to your liking or preference. It doesn't. Not so much it's not legal, but it's just human, unfortunately. Yeah. I haven't heard of cases where there is ACP and children or partner don't fulfill that. I haven't personally heard about it, but if I look at, I think what we want to recognize also is that everyone who is giving an opinion is coming from a place of love, and there's nothing wrong with that. They love in their own way. They love differently from one another. It's just difference in opinion. We had a patient with 8 daughters, 4 of them not married. So when my nurse went to visit them, the 4 unmarried are at home looking after the father. They individually have their own roles. They have divided work, the caregiving work. I think 2 of them would take father to, one would take father to the GP, the other one would take father to specialists. Then one would be the one cooking and the other one just the general housing. Then they started an argument about this medication and that medication. My doctor say cannot take this medication. My doctor say must continue this medication. My doctor say cannot take this medication. Then run to the kitchen crying. Everyone is doing it for the best of the father. And it was very clear. But I think it's one thing to get everyone to sit down and have a conversation. It's a next level to get everyone on the same page. So that's, I guess, the difficulty about advanced care planning. We can have our own ones. We can look in the eye of our loved ones, say, this is what I want. Are you okay with it? And they'll be like, okay, lor. But they may not execute it because to them, it may not be, it may not be that important to them. They may have other reasons. You can tell them that if this is the case, please do not resuscitate, but they can't let go. They can't let go. And it's very hard for us to stop them anyway. Yeah. I remember a Chinese video that I watched. In Chinese, death is 死亡. We are often okay with the 死, dying, right? We are okay because 一了百了了, we don't have to care anymore. But we are probably a little bit more attached to the 亡. Your legacy probably lasts for maybe 3 or 4 generations, and that's it. After that, nobody knows you. We are not Confucius. Let's be obvious. So after 3 generations, nobody knows you. I recently had that conversation with my cousin when we went to Muar for Qingming. Usually, back in the day, it would be my mom's 7 brothers and sisters, all their children. Now, in my generation, this is my grandparents. In my generation, it's me, my cousin, and if we're lucky, my brother. Just 3 of us. My brother has 2 young daughters. One's 5 and one's going to be 1 soon. I don't have children. My cousin have 2 children. He tried his best to bring the children for every Qingming, just to know his grandparents. But to his children, who are these people? Who are these people? I don't know these people. I come here because you are my father. You want to pay your respects. That's it. Yeah. So we are, I like to say we are not afraid of that dying. We don't want to die in pain. So we may not be so afraid of the dying, but I think what we are afraid of is being forgotten, not being remembered. Not really, your life lessons that you taught your children or your grandchildren, you want them to continue. You want your family traditions to go. You don't care. You can say you don't care, but there's deep down inside, I think there are certain things that you care about. Living your legacy. So in that terms, what can we do? Yeah. I know the tea time is ready. Yeah. So, been repeating this. It's an individual document, but it's also a collective conversation. Yeah. You don't have to have this conversation all at once. Yeah. You may have figured it out for yourself, but to tell someone of what you want, it may be so the polar opposite from what they are looking for. It may overwhelm them, and they will never have that conversation with you again. And that's not what you want. Have small bits and pieces conversation. And sometimes, maybe watching TV and watching dramas help, because you can say, let's talk some fengbo. I will never like this. Don't do this to me. Don't have so many arguments. If I say this is what I want, this is what I want. Honor my wishes. Or you can watch another movie and say, hey, Lola, this is not how I want it to be. Have that conversation with a movie. It's easier. It opens the topic. But there are not so many movies about death and dying. But there are some. Yeah. And ACP really is a cycle. Yeah. We meet different people, meet different things. Things happen to us. We change our mind. But the most important thing is that we redo that process. It's a tedious process, but we redo that process. If we change our mind, we have that conversation with whoever is going to be executor. Yeah. I think I will end here. Is it okay? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Shen. Thank you, Brother Shen, for your time today and sharing of your knowledge. Okay. Some takeaway, I guess, there is no guarantee of anything. But if we never start the conversation and nobody knows who thinks of what, nothing actually gets done. Even whether it's legal or not legal, there are a lot of grounds that can be covered by the ACP. That is something that I really believe in.